What's up, guys? Mason Brock Henderson here. This is Arrow Season 5, Episode 3, A Matter of Trust, and I'm almost done. Almost. Not even the good action can save this show in my mind anymore. It's not even that the show is awful. It's not. That the acting is good, the action is good, the camera work is really good. But the story and the character decisions are so awful. They're so bad that it almost takes all of the good stuff about the show and nearly pushes it off a cliff. And that I try to see the good stuff. I try to watch it for the good stuff, but then just something comes along and it just frustrates me to no end how dumb some of this is. Because the thing is, I see all of it coming from about a mile away. I know Wild Dog is gonna go do his own thing because he's an idiot. I know he's not gonna die, even though he probably should for making some stupid decisions. I know Oliver is going to try to work with him and get upset by him, and then in the end, it's going to be Oliver that's going to be the one in the wrong because he's the leader of the team. I know that's what they're going for this season. I know they're trying to change Oliver into making him less of the leader that he is. I don't care what they say on the show. A leader is not run by his people. A leader listens to his people, but he does not let the people make the decisions for him. That's pretty much what's happening right now. Wild Dog goes and does his own thing. Felicity says, hey, it's your fault because he's on your team. He made his decision, but he's part of your team, so it's your fault. And then Oliver has to go and apologize to him for some reason, even though Wild Dog is the one that's in the wrong. You see the problem there. Like, that's one of the biggest frustrations of this entire episode. Wild Dog goes and does his own thing, creates a superhuman because of all of this, ends up getting the DA pissed off at Oliver because of what happened, because he was trying to get this guy to give him information. And what happens? Oliver gets mad. Felicity gets mad at Oliver for getting mad at him. Oliver apologizes for getting mad. Wild Dog is completely in the clear. And at the end of the episode, Wild Dog was right the entire time. Going off and doing his own thing, that was all correct. Really? I get that Oliver can be intense at times. I get that sometimes the frustration and the anger in his mind can cause him to make some rash decisions. But that does not mean he is wrong in disciplining Wild Dog. And that's my biggest frustration. They're making it look like, no, Oliver was wrong there. Wild Dog was actually correct in following his lead. Okay, yeah, maybe Oliver should have listened to that. But that doesn't make what Wild Dog did right. And that's the frustration, is that they're making it seem like, oh, Wild Dog was completely correct in everything he did. Because Oliver didn't listen to him, he went out and rebelled, and that was correct. And now Oliver has to apologize to him because of that. Whatever. Just whatever. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard on the show. And they've had several dumb things on the show. But honestly, like, aside from Ragman, who's just freaking cool because he can control these rags with his mind, the rest of the team pisses me off. Curtis is awkward to no end. Like, at first, last season when he got introduced and we were getting to know him a little bit, yeah, the awkwardness was just kind of there, and it was like, oh, that's part of his character. Now that he's become like a main character, now that he's become a part of the team, it's just too much. It's kind of like Donna, to be honest, Felicity's mom. When you see her every now and then, it's like, oh yeah, she's a funny character, she makes Felicity feel uncomfortable. That's funny, fun to run with. Now, it's like she was in almost every single episode near the end of last season. I had enough of her. Same thing with Curtis. I could take him every other episode. I could even take him if he wasn't every episode, but kind of a side character, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I can handle. He's a main character now. He's a part of the team. He's supposed to be a fighter, and he's just, suit up. Oh, we're not gonna do that. I thought we were gonna say it all at the same time. Shut the fuck up! My word, just stop talking. It's too much. It's not funny. It's awkward and uncomfortable, and that's not the type of humor that this show is supposed to have. The humor comes from Oliver getting uncomfortable around certain situations. The humor comes from Felicity making Oliver feel uncomfortable because she's such an opposite to him. She's all hyperactive and energetic, and Oliver's kind of grim, and that's where most of the humor used to come from the show. Now they're throwing in awkward humor? When has that ever been a part of this show? I've been frustrated with the show for the past 2 seasons because of some of the decisions that were made, because some of the action was poor, because some of the characters were just stupid at times. Now it's like the show doesn't even know what it's supposed to be anymore. Now it's like the show's just said, you know what? Let's just forget everything. Let's just shit out whatever we can and just throw it into the episode. Okay, there we go. There's the episode. It's so freaking stupid. And I'm done with it. Even Thea in this episode is acting stupid. Like, Thea has not necessarily been one of my favorite characters, but she's always been a character that I'm just like, okay, yeah, Thea's a badass. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. She's not gonna get herself wrapped up in something stupid. Like, a reporter says something bad about Oliver, she's not going to go to that reporter and tell her something even worse than what the reporter was already saying and just completely believe the reporter whenever she says, oh yeah, I'll definitely change. Really? It's a reporter. So, hell yeah, she's going to twist the truth. Could you not see the look on her face? Really? How does this make any sense? This is Thea we're talking about. This isn't like Felicity who just believes the best in people. This is Thea who has been trained to be this badass character, and you've got a woman saying, oh yeah, I'll definitely change the report. We're coworkers. Just look in front of you, Thea. What does that look on her face say? It says she's going to change it and make it interesting for her sake. This should be obvious. And I just don't understand like how these characters who have been built up and I know these characters now, I know how they react. How on earth can the writers of the show look at this episode and say, oh yeah, this is a typical Arrow episode? No, this is nothing like Arrow. The humor's wrong, the characters are acting stupid, the decisions made feel nothing like Arrow. I mean, the past 4 seasons, it's been very clear that we've been building up Oliver. He's been learning. Maybe the first couple seasons he was making mistakes. Him wanting to be a lone wolf, yeah, he made some mistakes. But the past 2 seasons, seasons 3 and 4, it's been building up that he's learning. He is learning what he's supposed to do. He's learning to be a leader. He's been making better decisions, and the team around him has actually been making the poor decisions. And then all of a sudden, this episode, they're just like, no, Oliver, you're stupid. You should be trusting the rebellious idiot who completely betrayed your trust. You're the one in the wrong. Yeah, you're an idiot. It's really frustrating. So, I've been getting like a ton of messages, sorry. I don't understand how the show can just think that all of this is okay. How on earth can this possibly be a good episode? And the worst thing about it is that nobody seems to be talking about how bad it is. I mean, I even looked on IMDb to see like the ratings and stuff. So far this season, 8.5, 8.6. This one got an 8.7. This was considered the best episode of the season. How? Because that one cool fight scene where Oliver was fighting the whatever guy, the guy that was invincible. Yeah, the fight scene is awesome. That doesn't make up for the rest of the episode. The rest of it was complete shit. It was awful. It was stupid. The decisions made were stupid. I don't understand how people can look past all of that and just say, oh yeah, this was still a good episode. It's not. It's really, really not. And the show has been constantly getting worse. I thought maybe it was on the up. The first 2 episodes were not great, but they were getting better. And then this episode comes along and just screws everything up. And I think this is the most frustrated I've ever been because all of the decisions made, aside from like 2, you've got Felicity finally makes a good decision, even though she's still lying to Oliver about her having a boyfriend now. She finally makes the good decision of, I'm going to tell Rory what happened with Haven Rock. I'm going to tell him it was me that was responsible, which is good because you wait and then you tell him later and it's going to make it even worse. So maybe the fact that she told him early on, maybe they'll be able to move past this quicker. I really hope that doesn't make him decide he doesn't want to be on the team, because honestly, he's the only member of the team I want to see right now. The rest of the team are just idiots or Curtis. So that's the only good decision that was made by a character in this one. And then the other, I guess, interesting part of it is what's going on with John. He's now in prison because of what happened, him getting framed. He's now, I guess, hallucinating Deadshot, which is weird. I don't know. It was kind of interesting. I'm like, oh yeah, so Deadshot's back. He did survive, just like I said. And then all of a sudden, Lila comes to visit, and John's just like, no, Deadshot's not here. And then he looks back, and the bed's completely empty. None of the pictures that were up there are up there. So, kind of worried about John a little bit, and what's been going on with him after he killed his brother. But honestly, that's about it. And that's not enough to save this episode. This episode just absolutely awful. All the decisions that I talked about were terrible. The characters aren't acting like themselves. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that looks at this and sees all of this. But I find that hard to believe. I feel like people who've been watching this show since season 1 should be able to look at this and say, okay, Thea's not acting like herself. She should have caught the fact that this reporter lady is going to twist the truth like this. You look at Wild Dog, this should be obvious. This should be, he went against Oliver. He blatantly disregarded his order, ended up causing more trouble. He should be punished for this. Instead, what we get is Oliver is the one at fault here, because he should have kept his team in check. So, long story short, I hated this episode. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe Wild Dog will die. Hopefully Curtis will just decide not to be on the team anymore, because that would be... Honestly, I've got nothing against Curtis, and a lot of people may listen to me talking bad about Curtis and probably associate it to the fact that he's gay, and that has nothing to do with that. It's just his character. His character is not a good fit for the team. It's too awkward. It's too like, oh, let me just keep talking. Let me just keep talking. Maybe it's funny if I just keep talking, and it's not at all. So yeah, I'm done ranting. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree with me on my opinions? Why? Let me know. We can talk about it, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Arrow reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.